Hey guys, Brian here, and today I wanted to bring you some big news with WordPress. So in September 2020, W3C decided that it was not going to go with WordPress in its new website. Well, what does this mean for WordPress, the future of WordPress, and also should I be worried if I have a WordPress website? So I'm going to answer both questions in this video. Okay, so first of all, let's address the future of WordPress by looking at why W3C decided to not go with WordPress. In fact, I think that the decision was actually more driven and influenced by the company Studio 24, which is actually being tasked with building the new W3C website, because they cite issues with Gutenberg, accessibility issues, and then the fact that the classic editor is no longer being supported. So let's address the Gutenberg part of what they're talking about. With WordPress 5, Gutenberg was released as part of WordPress 5. And Gutenberg is a complete deviation from the classic editor. This was a big change, and even I found that it was difficult to change over to Gutenberg, and a lot of my clients really preferred the classic editor. The second thing that I want to address is accessibility, and that is something that is a big concern, but it's something that WordPress is continually working on. So I don't think that is something that won't get better in the future, let's put it that way. And the final thing is the classic editor. Now, the classic editor was not that great, let's be honest. When we had the classic editor, before we had the Gutenberg editor, we complained that the WYSIWYG editor is anything but what you see is what you get. So I don't know if that's really a good argument, the fact that the classic editor is no longer going to be supported. Let's move on from the classic editor. There's better ways to do things. So I think of them, they're called blocks, right? Gutenberg blocks. But I think of them as modules. I think of them as, here's a block that will let you show a list of your customers, or here's a block that will show your subscribe form, or here's a block. We can build really any type of block, just like we could build any type of content before. A block is just another way of you generating content in a structured format. So Gutenberg, in my opinion, is a step in the right direction. So the next question is, should I be worried if I have a WordPress website? My opinion is that you don't have anything to worry about. I see things happening with WordPress that encourage me. Things like on WordPress 5.5, they've addressed lazy loading as a built-in feature. You don't even need a lazy loading plugin anymore. That's fewer plugins, that's built-in functionality. Those are good things. I think if WordPress continues along this vein of building in common needed functionality so that we don't have to go to plugins for some of those features, and at the same time, if plugins continue to be as great as many of them have been, I think that all of this is going to converge into a great user experience. There are some negatives to WordPress. I get that, I accept that, and I agree that there are things that WordPress could be doing so much better. If WordPress figures out how to deal with site speed effectively, well then we're gonna see something pretty special. So I don't think you have anything to worry about if you have a WordPress website. In fact, I think times are getting better. I think that things are continuously moving on an upward trend. There are some challenges to change, and that's really what we're talking about here. I hope that this brought some value to you. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next video.